Hi, everybody. Welcome to Bama Blind. I'm Beverly, and you're looking at the world from a different perspective. I wish I could say I was, but I can't see. But I'm standing on top of a ladder inside of my living room, and I'm looking outside onto my front porch. And I'm right at the level of the ceiling of the front porch, and there's a ceiling fan straight out there. And then there's a hanging basket, there's pillars on the front porch. It's a wraparound porch. There's rocking chairs down at the base. But I'm cleaning these windows here. I'm inside the house and I'm cleaning it's a triple window here. And as I was cleaning it with my glass cleaner and paper towels, I got to thinking, I'm just looking at everything from a different perspective. And I've always done that, and I've always liked to climb. And even though I don't have vision now, I still don't have really any fear of climbing as long as I can touch something. And here are my draperies right here. But I'm on top of a 6-foot ladder, and now I'm panning around into my living room, and we're about at I'm going to say we're about at the 10-foot height. I'm going to raise my arm up so that the camera can actually show. We have 12-foot ceilings, and the walls are a rich blue with a touch of purple in it called a blueberry bud. And then you're kind of looking straight across my living room, I'm hoping, to a doorway which is closed. And my house is pretty old. It was built in 1895. But my perspective from this height, I'm about 10 feet up, and I can look at my double mantle, which is right over there. I hope I'm pointing to it. There's a mantle at about the 7-foot level, and then it's got some ornate carved pillars on either side, and then a beveled mirror, and then another mantle with an old clock sitting on it. And then the lower mantle is at about 4 feet high, and then there's all kinds of subway tile surrounding the fireplace, which is a coal-burning fireplace, and the house was built in, like I said, 1895. But my perspective, as I'm looking around this room, I love to look at things from a height. I'm pretty far up. I'm doing my fall cleaning, and I always drag my 6-foot ladder around, and I clean the windows probably once a year because we decorate a lot for fall. We have Thanksgiving here, and so I dust the woodwork. We have very ornate painted white woodwork around each of the doors and the door casings and the transoms, which are windows on top of the doors. We have a lot of woodwork around that with rosettes. And then we have hardwood floors. And right now I've just destroyed my living room because I pulled the sofa away from the window so that I can climb up and clean. And I'm just panning around to show you. But the reason that I wanted to video this is not only to show that I climb my ladder every year, sometimes twice a year, to decorate, but to clean specifically, dust with a vacuum cleaner, and with wood cleaning, and with glass cleaner. Here's my 12-foot ladder. I just climbed down on it, and now we're at the actual level, the walking level of the front porch. And you just kind of look outside, and or somebody does look outside and see the old wraparound front porch it's got 4 rocking chairs on it. And the reason that I am interested in actually videoing this is to acknowledge that I've always had such an interest in looking at the world with a different perspective. I love climbing stuff. I love being up high. I don't seem to have any sort of fear of that as long as I can touch something and keep my bearings. I'm slowly moving into the center of my living room. There's a chandelier in our foyer right there. And then here's our piano over here. And I'm just slowly moving around because I've got all the furniture pulled out and everything, but I'll turn around and show you exactly where I was. I was standing on the top of that ladder over there, and I got to thinking, I've climbed, I think the first place I ever climbed as a child was up in the top of a magnolia tree, and they get pretty high up, and they got great limbs that are close to each other, and you can climb pretty high. But I love to look out over my grandmother's farm when I did that. And then I grew up near here. There was a farm, and we did a lot of work on that farm, and I would climb to the top of the hayloft, the second story of the barn where you throw the hay out to the cows. And I would just look around the farm. It was an old antebellum farm that my grandfather owned. But I like to look at that perspective. And then we've traveled a lot. So I've climbed to the top of the Empire State Building and looked over New York. This is when my vision was better. So I didn't see as much as people with normal vision, but I saw a different perspective of the city and of, iconic things. I've been to the top of the Statue of Liberty. I've climbed to the top of that. I lay at the base of the Twin Towers. I didn't climb to the top of the Twin Towers, but I lay down at the base of the Twin Towers. And I'm sure the tourists thought I was a nut, but I wanted to see what did the Twin Towers, they're so tall, and what did they look like if I was laying flat on my back and looking straight up at them. So, and I got Jerry to make a photo of how that looked. But it was just such an unusual perspective. It really, really was. And I've been to the top of the Eiffel Tower. I've climbed to the top of Diamond Head, a volcano in Hawaii. I've been to climbed the Tower of London and actually looked out the little portal window onto London and the Thames River. Climbed to the top of the ship I was on, in the captain's quarters, where he's at the very top of the ship and kind of navigating the Danube River. So I've done a lot of climbing. I enjoy it here at my house. Our ceilings are 12 feet tall, so we have a ladder in our hallway, and the ladder comes down, and I will climb up into the attic, which is at the 12-foot level. And then there's the ceiling in the attic is at least 8 feet tall. So we have real hipped roofs on this house. But I like to climb up there and look at the old interior of the attic, built in 1895, and look at the structure of that. And just look out onto my street through the dormer windows, because it's just a different perspective. I can look out east and north and south from the dormer windows, and just kind of experience my neighborhood from a different perspective. So I just thought I would share. This is my fall cleaning, and I do this every year. I go through at least once a year, do all the dusting, cleaning with wood products, and then, cleaning the glass. And yes, blind people can clean glass. We might get somebody to come look and make sure it doesn't have streaks if that's really important. But I clean the glass, and then I'm getting ready. By October 1st is usually my deadline to have everything decorated for fall. I really enjoy decorating for fall because we have Thanksgiving here with usually lots and lots of people. This year we're going to have fewer people, but we're going to spread out all over the house, so there'll only be like 4 or 5 people at one big table. So this living room here, I will have to put a big table, but it'll only seat like 4 people. So we might have 20 people here, but they're going to be all spread out. And I hope to do a video soon. Once that is done, that video might be closer to Thanksgiving as I get my table set up and everything. But just wanted to show my perspective of climbing on the ladder, looking out over my porch, looking out over the yard and the intersection out there. And if you're visually impaired, you definitely have a different perspective on the world. And if you're blind, you probably have a very different perspective on the world. And I think that's a good thing. I really think that is a very, very good thing, because it allows you to see situations, not just your physical world, but see situations differently. It opens your mind up, and it keeps your mind flexible and exercised, so that when things that aren't expected come along, you have an ability to switch over to that different perspective. Hopefully you're not fixed or fixated on just one perspective. And I think that's what's helped me navigate the world as a blind person. So I hope you've enjoyed this little quick introduction to my cleaning and my different perspective, and hope you have a really safe and happy, healthy upcoming week. And I will talk to you soon, everyone. Bye-bye.